everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. There are a couple of topics I want to talk about in this video. I do want to give an update on what's going on with T.I. and Tiny because things have gotten really serious with their case. But before I do, I want to start off with something a little lighter. I mean, it's not all that light. It's kind of shady actually, but Matthew Knowles, who is Beyonce's father, recently did an interview with Leah A. Henry on YouTube, and he was asked about the comparisons brought up between Beyonce and her protege, Chloe Bailey, from the group Chloe and Halle. Now, a lot of people have been saying that Chloe is a young Beyonce based off of her mannerisms, the way she sings, the way she even dances. A lot of people have been comparing Chloe to the legendary Beyonce. And I have a few thoughts on this myself, but I'm going to first play what Matthew Knowles said about the comparisons between Chloe and his daughter Beyonce.
A lot of people online speculate, obviously Chloe and Halle are proteges of Beyonce. People constantly compare Chloe to Beyonce, a younger Beyonce. Do you see the comparison, like the same thing that you saw in young Beyonce? Do you see that in Chloe Bailey?
You gotta be kidding me, right? You asking me that question?
Yes, I want to know.
Are you actually serious that
Yes.
you're comparing that young lady to Beyonce?
People say if there was anybody to play a biopic.
Okay, you're talking about if someone was doing a movie, not
Well, but no, people compare them. People do compare them.
Talent-wise? Are you telling me talent-wise, somebody is an idiot enough to compare her to Beyonce talent-wise?
They say she's literally like a young Beyonce in the making.
I'm asking you a yes or no question. Are you telling me someone's an idiot enough to compare her to Beyonce talent-wise?
She's very talented, but Beyonce's
A
a
yes or a no? Are there people saying her talent is equal to Beyonce? They're an idiot. Period.
Well, blue.
So that was Matthew's reaction to the comparisons between Beyonce and Chloe. And if you actually saw the rest of the interview, it ended in a very awkward way. Matthew was clearly upset. But here's my thoughts on what Matthew said. First of all, I understand that Beyonce is his daughter and he has a right to look at Beyonce like she's incomparable, she's untouchable, because Beyonce has reached to a level where she is in the conversation of being one of the greatest entertainers of all time. So I understand why Matthew feels strongly against people comparing Beyonce to other upcoming artists. Beyonce is in a league of her own. Let's be very clear here. She's in a league of her own. And there will never, I repeat, never be another Beyonce. But with all that being said, Chloe is nothing to play around with either. I think Matthew's comments came off as a little dismissive towards Chloe. He said that anybody would be an idiot to compare Chloe to Beyonce. But I don't think it's idiotic at all. It's obvious that Chloe is inspired by Beyonce. And on top of that, Beyonce is Chloe's mentor. She's signed to Beyonce. So of course there's going to be some influence there. However, I think Chloe and her sister Halle have their own musical identity. So while I understand the comparisons, I don't think Chloe is just a young Beyonce. She's definitely her own artist. She's an amazing singer, an amazing songwriter, and a great producer. And this is something I feel like people don't highlight enough. Chloe is an incredible producer. Both her and her sister Halle are great musicians. So what they do and the sounds that they create for their music is different from what Beyonce does. So they're not even in the same lane for real. And this is really the downside of comparing upcoming artists to established icons. When people make these comparisons, they tend to diminish the upcoming artists and the talents that they bring. This is why I think it's important to allow every artist to come into their own and create their own lane for themselves instead of making them live up to the standard of another artist. But those are just my thoughts on that. Now on to the next topic. I want to talk about Lil Nas X putting Tekashi 6ix9ine on blast for sliding in his DMs. Now Lil Nas X was minding his business like he always does, and Tekashi thought it would be funny to throw shade at him. DJ Academics posted an article about China making COVID anal swabs mandatory for foreigners, and 6ix9ine threw shots at Lil Nas and said Lil Nas X entered the chat, and he put a dead emoji. Now, obviously, he was trying to take digs at Lil Nas' sexuality, and Lil Nas said, okay, I got a response for that. So what he did was he posted DMs that 6ix9ine sent him. Back in October of last year, 6ix9ine said, yo. 6ix9ine DM'd him again in February and said, gonna be in your city soon. What you doing? LOL. And he put a heart emoji and a smiley face emoji. Now, I find it very, very, very interesting that 6ix9ine was trying to throw shade at Lil Nas X, but he was up in his DMs. This obviously shook 6ix9ine because he actually went on Instagram and tried to deny sliding in Nas's DMs.
Before this shit even start, we're gonna nip this shit in the... This is my gram right here. 6ix9ine, this is my account. Let's go, hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Look. Stop playing with me, son.
Now, I don't know why Tekashi posted this because this honestly proves nothing. You could actually delete conversations in your DMs. I tested this out. You could actually do this, but the other person still sees the DMs that you sent them. So Lil Nas X still saw the DMs that Tekashi sent him, even though Tekashi 6ix9ine deleted the messages. So that really proved nothing. Tekashi was put on blast. He tried to be shady, but Lil Nas X put him on blast, and I'm glad some rapper was able to get him together because I'm tired of Tekashi going around trolling and antagonizing other rappers and making fun of dead rappers to get people to respond. We all know that Tekashi is with the feds, so he knows that if these rappers were to retaliate against him, they would get in trouble. So Tekashi trolls them all the time because he's protected and he does this to get clout. It's honestly pathetic. And Tekashi has other things to worry about. He should be taking care of his daughter because his baby mama already put him on blast for not taking care of his child. And she also called him out for putting his child and her family in danger over his stupid beefs. So he should be more concerned about that, but he's too busy trolling other rappers. Tekashi is just a gutter snipe. Plain and simple. And speaking of gutter snipes, let's talk about T.I. and Tiny and the updates surrounding their scandalous case because things are not looking good for them at all. Now, for those who don't know the backstory, this whole mess started off when T.I. and Tiny's former associate, Sabrina Peterson, called T.I. out for putting a weapon to her son's head and being violent toward her. And also, she exposed T.I. and Tiny for trafficking women, drugging them, and having their way with them while they're unconscious. Sabrina started off by posting several anonymous stories from the alleged victims, and now 11 of these victims are being represented by a lawyer named Tyrone A. Blackburn. And right now the lawyer is seeking for T.I. and Tiny to be criminally charged. And some of the stories I've read about these victims are very, very sad and very disturbing. And I'm not going to go into detail because I want to save that for another video. But right now, the lawyer representing these victims is seeking for T.I. and Tiny to be criminally investigated. And he has a very strong case. So things are about to hit the fan for T.I. and Tiny. Now, what made things even worse for T.I. and Tiny was their lawyer tried to strike a deal to make this case go away. However, the lawyer turned down the offer and said, no, if T.I. and Tiny are truly innocent, then they should be able to defend themselves in court. So we'll see how this whole situation pans out. But if a criminal investigation does happen, and if they are found guilty, it's gonna look very, very, very bad for T.I. and Tiny. They could face some serious time behind bars. Anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.